the beauty of us having this conversation past the Mental Health Awareness Month for Men is to show that the conversation doesn't end in June, right?
You're smart. You're getting yourself out of the punishment, but you're also making sense. It's mathing. It's mathing.
It has to be an everyday conversation, right? And so we don't just skip it for June. We carry it on beyond that.
I love that.
Especially because it's men. I feel like they get the raw end of it in the sense that society, the way society is cultured, we are more forgiving, and we've created more spaces and areas to support women,
but never men.
Not men.
I shared your poster for today's show on my WhatsApp status yesterday, and someone I used to work with a long time ago reached out. He's not okay.
Oh no.
And says, Yolanda, I'm not okay. Please, this is a mammoth of a man, 6 foot tall butch. He lives in a gym, and he became small, and he told me, I'm not okay. Like that, I'm not. I know you have resources. You're speaking to these people. I can't afford counseling. I'm in between jobs. I'm going to give you his number. You're going to. That is your punishment. See your life. So today we have in studio Josphine Macharia, mental health awareness advocate and author of a book that I read every night. And the people in my house ask me, "Why are you crying?" When you said that at the end of every book, at the end of every chapter, there are exercises. Girl. I was like, this chick that know me, I'm tough. Me, I'm a war tanker. I was made for this life. Me, there's nothing I cannot do. Where you owe me boxes of tissue. I just there.
And you know why, Yolanda? Because
it's so hard.
If the questions were not there, then you'd just read the book like any other book. Be tagged, thank you, gloss over what you've just read, and then roll over to the next chapter. But what is happening with every chapter as you read, not all chapters are for you, but the ones that are for you, you're there like, yo, how long have I been carrying this? How long have I been dealing or suppressing, whether it's an emotion, whether it's childhood trauma? And so what the questions do is they allow you, one, to pause, and then now they do a deep dive. And that's why I tell guys, even the questions, there are people who've been stuck on the questions for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Thank you. There was one question I even went to type at you to ask you, I don't know who you think you are. I was ungeenda tu kwa chat yetu ungeona Yolanda typing alafu ikuji because I was so triggered. And I remember you told me, in fact I think I texted you, this book is hard. You told me it doesn't have a timeline. You can read it for years. I read it and I just left it. We went through Mapambano, and then I think it had shikad me. I was very emotional during that whole June 25th period, and it wasn't what was going on in Kenya. It was mostly the book. And it was one question, and it's not a hard question, and I'm not going to share what question it is. It's my business. But kibuki yako ni nini kitungu? Please, can we talk about men?
Yes. And first of all, thank you for that feedback, Yolanda. It makes the 8 months plus that I took writing the book worth it. And what I tell people is when I started writing the book, and I'll tell on myself, I went in saying, I'm writing the book for people like Yolanda and other people out there because, excuse me, I am okay. Shock on me that even I had to go through what you're going through. And so I know how intense it can be. But the beauty is who you will become after you've worked through the exercises. And I tell people, you'll actually feel a weight has been lifted off you. So when we come to men, one of the things, if we're to start, and I know we'll cover a lot of ground, but one of the places we can start is at one, the narrative that we've told men needs to change. And this is a narrative that has been perpetuated from the different generations. If you look at the baby boomers to Gen X to millennials to Gen Z now, it's a narrative that says men don't cry, tough it tough, mwanaume ni kukaa ngumu, suck it up, But when you think about that, what are we doing to this man? Before he is a man, he's first of all human. Emotions have no gender. I keep saying that. So when you're sad, when you're depressed, when you're angry, by the virtue of fact that we are human beings,
yes,
will all have all these emotions. So why is it unacceptable for a man to show an emotion that he's angry, to show an emotion that he's going through a rough patch, to even cry, because that is unacceptable. And so what that does is the support we give men is different from what we give women. Women, Yolanda, today if you came and you said you're having a hard morning or a hard day, there'll be hugs, there'll be a lot of love given to you.
I walk around here sad and sappy, and people just leave it there like, oh, maybe it's that time, or just maybe she's just being a woman, emotional, hormonal, whatever. But a man cannot.
No, he can't. And so it's bad enough he's fighting the world. Now he has to fight to survive and to be seen as human. And so we don't accord them the same opportunities we give women. So this man is going through life fighting the world, also having to fight the things that should be natural, and he should be allowed to express those emotions. So one of the things we need to do is allow men to express their emotions, because then what happens when these emotions are suppressed for long, men tend to deal with their mental health issues in outwardly.
We have an angry lot. First, this conversation, I wanted to share something with you off air. Sorry, just put a small bookmark. You'll go back to your point. You've seen what's been going on in our country lately.
Yeah, absolutely.
On both sides. And I'm not taking sides. I'm not justifying what the cops are doing. Most of them, we've seen the ones who are shooting are men.
Yes.
Angry men.
Yes.
And then we have our Gen Zs, men also. Angry men. We've seen the number of women who are sexually assaulted on the 25th of June this year has risen from 13 to 25. Now the ones who have come out. They've been raped by men. Who are angry. Precisely. And I'm saying we can fix the women who are broken or try to give them psychosocial support, but we still have an angry lot out there waiting for another 25 the next time we have demonstrations or whatever. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you're spot on. So one of the things I keep saying is this, and I know it's a truth that people don't want to hear. In line with what you're saying is that sadly, most of the time we're dealing with the symptoms, the fruit of what is going on. But we are not courageous enough to go to the root. At the root of it, to your point, men are angry, but instead of saying, yes, femicide is an issue, femicide is there, but what is at the root, right? There are men who are angry. There are men who are bitter. There are men who have never been taught how to deal with these pent-up emotions, how to deal with this anger. And so if we don't give them the right tools, they'll keep using the wrong tools, which is aggression, violence. That's how they know how to let go of what they're carrying. Because it gets heavy, Yolanda, right? And so what you know is to abuse people. And please don't get us wrong. We're not here condoning. We're just saying what it is. And so up until the time we're brave enough to sit and say, hey, what are these wounds you're dealing with? For some, it could be a father wound. It could be something that I saw growing up that I've never addressed. And now it's gotten to a place where it's too much. And so that's how I'm expressing it. Let's also realize, Yolanda, the traditional roles we knew for men. There was a season where a man knew, I grew up, this is my role. I'm the provider, I'm the father, I'm the head of the home. Those roles have been changed. In fact, right now, most men today are wondering, do women even need me? Like, what's my role? And so we have a generation of men coming up. And I heard something, a friend of mine who works with a lot of young people told me something very sad, to a place where some young men are wondering, okay, it looks like I need a vagina to get ahead. Because as men, what do we have to live for, right? So there's a lot of apathy, a lot of hopelessness. And so people are turning to drinking, which for so long in the African culture has been an accepted coping mechanism.
Very true.
But guess what? That is, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm stressed. Then I go and drink. Two wrongs don't make a right, Yolanda. Right?
True.
And so we need to be willing to go to, like you said, an onion earlier.
And it's a crutch. It is a crutch. It is a crutch. The mguu bado imevunjika.
It is.
Yeah. When you take away this crutch, you still can't stand.
Yolanda, if I have a cancer wound and I put a Band-Aid on it and I keep putting a Band-Aid, eventually
the cancer will eat me.
Thank you.
Whole. And that's the reason why I decided after you came here, and I love you so much for this. Please note, this lady was a perfect stranger. I didn't know her.
Yes.
Someone sent the number and said, this book, you need to share this book with your listener. And I told you, and I never admit when I'm not okay. In fact, even if you speak to my workmates, they'll tell you I'm tough, I'm made of brick and mortar and steel. But I decided I'm not going to fix my teeth. I told you about my teeth. I'm not, and even in your book you speak about your teeth. I'm not going to fix my teeth. I'm going to fix the reason why I'm doing what I do at night. I know, and I'm breaking my teeth. But I'm not going, it's very superficial. I come back, and because no one can even see the cracks. I'm walking around here looking all nice and whatever, but I'm going through it. I'm going through it. And it's never been okay. And I know even in our training we are told who is going to listen to SpiceFM. That you're coming here, tell guys, by the way, you guys, I'm not okay. Change the channel because I'm listening for entertainment. And I said, we are at a point in our country where we need voices like yours, Josphine. Gary, we need you to come to radio stations to talk to people because we are a broken nation.
And you know, Yolanda, it's all about balance. We're a broken nation hiding behind humor.
Yes.
What do most of us do? We'll go to TikTok, we'll look for the funniest. I mean, anything that happens, let's be honest, just looking at the flip side, the memes that will come out of that, look at things that we've been through, whether it was a chapati machine, whether it was and we will be rolling on the floor laughing.
Even last week, people were saying, and we were watching our country at a tipping point, and everyone was making jokes about kila mtu abebe kijiko yake. Because the last time when we got into parliament, we were eating with our hands. When we get to State House, you make sure you have your spoon so that we don't eat dirty food. And I said, Josphine keeps saying this, we like to hide behind these jokes. They're not funny. To whom are they funny to?
And then for how long will we laugh? And at the expense of what it's doing to us internally. And so for me, one of the things I keep saying is we need to pause. We need first and foremost to be brave enough to say we are not okay. And guess what? That's okay. But first it starts with acknowledging. And we see that especially in men, because men have been trained to be stoic and to always show up and to man up. It's not something that comes naturally. So in as much as we keep telling the men, you need to speak, remember, that's not their natural world. I even say, even the way church is set up, we all sit facing in front. Men don't talk like that. Men talk when they are doing activities, when they're engaging, when they feel safe. So first they need to acknowledge that I'm not okay. I know many are going to the gym and that's okay, that's helping, but it goes deeper than that, right? Secondly, you need to be brave enough to say, okay, now that I've not acknowledged I'm not okay, what am I dealing with? Right? Before we give you a coping tool, we need to find out what are you coping from. That's what I always say. So find out what is it. Is it your relationships that are not working? Let's do a back check on that. Where did that stem from? Right? Where did these feelings of anger come from? Because for some men, you are not always angry.
True.
It's a season or a moment that triggered it.
Something happened.
Yeah, so can we go back to that trigger moment and address it? Because then what is happening is a lot of escapism or a lot of people extrapolating. This one moment that I got fired or my life turned around, I now live on the edge, angry at the whole world because of one moment, right? So can we go back and deal? And deal is not hiding beneath laughter, beneath alcohol, or hiding beneath I'm talking to my boys. Yes. Because we say men talk to each other. But do they really, Yolanda?
But what are they talking about? You're going to the garage to talk about, you guys got new shocks and rims, maze. That is not talking about your problems.
It's true.
Men don't have anybody. Men don't have anybody they can tell, I want to off myself. I want to off myself. I want to curl up into a ball and cry. Who are they telling? I remember the first time I had a producer here, and it was his daughter's first day of school. And he started crying. And I was just... And then later I had to tell him, I'm sorry, my take 2 was not I'm judging you. It was, oh my God, that is so cute that your daughter is going to school. She's never been away from you and your wife. But it's broken you to the point that you're so scared. What if someone picks on her? You're not there. And I saw this 6 foot tall person cry.
Wow.
I'll say his name, Dan Othieno. And it was, and I told him, and he's like, thanks for not judging me. I'm like, but you're big. Because I was thinking you're going to chapa me. There's a message here on X. I want you to read it. I don't know if you can see. I've tried to project it there for you.
The great issues to discuss.
Yes.
Okay. great issue to discuss. I know not everyone will experience a diagnosable mental health condition. The prevalence, impact, and shared human experience of mental well-being, plus importance of reducing stigma, promoting support, and fostering understanding around mental health for all. So it was more of a comment, right? And whoever shared Zest.
Zest sports to us.
Yeah, I think that's spot on, because one of the things we need to do is sometimes, to his point, we think that all mental health issues are, or conditions, or rather, are only the ones that are severe that we hear about.
True.
But one thing I keep saying, and I say this all the time, is that mental health shows up every day. Every day we are dealing with daily stressors. And so if we can get to a place where we are giving people tools and making them aware, we don't have to wait until you're, tail end, especially for men, because men are more private. And to your point, Yolanda, when men meet, more of the time it's biashara, what are you doing? And it's almost like the way society is that as a man, when we meet, the first thing is I'm fronting. Where are you now? How are your kids doing? How's your family?
By the way, it is a pissing festival. Mine is bigger than yours. And they like, my car is bigger, my house is bigger, mine.
Yes, because you're being judged based on all, and because they're competitive in nature. But now it's to go to the next step and be there like, hey, and how are you doing? Or, I heard you're not okay. But this is the thing. Think of us as women. Every time we meet, our natural proclivity is to be nurturers, to find out how you're doing. I can look at you, Yolanda, thank you. And no, beneath the makeup, I can see through your eyes you're not okay. That is a thing men don't know. One of the things we need to do as women, instead of getting angry, instead of judging them, instead of saying, you guys hide, you never talk, how about we teach them? One of the things I keep saying, as women, every single month, and you said it earlier, our hormonal cycle, it means we're so used to dealing with so many emotions, Yolanda. You're sitting here, you're supposed to show up at work, you're cramping, you're in pain. So you know how to deal with all these emotions. For men, they don't. They don't experience a plethora of emotions like we do. And so what we need to do is begin to teach them, it's okay if you're angry, this is how you get over the anger in a healthy way. Because then what they do is, what we say, they move from 1 to 100.
Yes.
And that's why statistics say that men are the most who take their life by suicide, followed by depression. And when they do take their life by suicide, they use non-reversible methods. They make sure it's a done
They get
deal.
the job done. Yeah. I watched a video and you came to mind, and it was something that was like probably a trend. I'm not into those things on social media, but a video, and I saw different parts of the world, people doing it because of the accents and whatnot. And Kari, one video, this guy, what do your boys do when you tell them I love you? So that's the video. So this guy is calling his boys. He's like, hi, how was your evening? It's like his boy is answering, what do you want? Have you eaten? Are you about to sleep? I was just thinking about you. Hey, they're like, where? Riswa, who are you thinking about?
I love
at a good night, I love you.
Like, are you okay?
You could see this guy make the phone call, the first video I watched, and all his friends are so, it was just bleeped out. Toot, what the toot? Why? Unanipigia kuni Julia. Hali, where's your chick? My friend actually told me when I told them the story, and he said he calls his boy and he tells him, hey, nimekuhata. I told him, kwenda huko, enda uhate demu yako. Men, as much as they say that they trust each other, it's just to shed light on what you're trying to say, because I didn't understand that video until you just said what you've just said, is men don't talk to each other as well.
They don't.
Yeah.
And when they do talk, like each man will tell you, I have 1 or 2 friends that we can really go deep. But even that friend, they can go deep. It's not deep the way, Yolanda, if I say you and I are tight and we go deep, like, everything.
We go cellular.
Yeah, it's like you go to the bone marrow, right? But for a man, it's when I say we are good friends, he's the same person who will be there like, oh, I didn't know your child was graduating, so how are you close friends and you don't know even such, or like your
even your child's name.
Yeah, or they moved schools, or how old are they? There's a birthday party, like, and you're there like, so what exactly are you guys discussing when you say you're close? And that's one of the things we need to encourage our men to do, right? Talk to each other, but if far above that, the women in your life that you trust, right? Talk to them. And women, I always say, if a man has found you to be a safe person that he can talk to, please, 1, don't invalidate his feelings.
True.
2, don't belittle what he's going through. 3, allow him to express himself. 4, be patient. It's not going to be, it won't be automatic. Like if you call me for coffee and you say, I know you've been feeling low, let's talk. Even the waiter will be there like, are you ordering or you get out? Because you guys have been yapping alone. For a man, he will give you piecemeal. I will share something small today. I want to see how you react. If I open my heart to you, Yolanda, as a woman, are you going to disrespect me?
No.
Are you going to use it against me?
I cannot.
Is your attitude going to change towards me? Are you going to emasculate me? The minute a man gets this or picks that from you, it's a done deal. And so as women, we need to be very careful, because some of the things I will say in jest to a woman, she will get it and know it's a joke. By the time a man is trusting enough to open up his heart, you need to have the maturity to know, I need to be careful with my words. I need to be careful in how I receive him. And I need to know that I cannot use that against him, even if it's a joke. Because he will
never. He'll do a full boomerang. He'll never open up again.
And what I say is he will then get to what I call the Tinman Syndrome. In The Wizard of Oz, maybe you watched it already.
Yes,
I know some of you did Shambhala Wanyama, but Wizard of...
I missed you, by the way.
No, but seriously. So Wizard of Oz, right? All these people, the story is, if you don't know it, spoiler alert, there's a tornado and everything.
Yes.
Dorothy and her dog, I think he was called Toto, right?
Yes.
So they find themselves in this magical place. And so they were all going to the wizard for different reasons. So the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and I forgot the other characters.
Yes.
And so Tin Man was saying, I need to go to the wizard because I don't have a heart. I don't know how to feel. I'm just in there. And so a lot of our men are teen men walking around. They checked out long ago. And please note, a man can check out but still do everything he's required to do.
They are creatures of habit.
Thank you. He will pay the bills. He will show up in the house. He will tick the box. But inside,
hakuna mtu mteja.
And so many of us are seeing a lot of teen men walking around. People who've become so hurt, so jaded, that they're just existing.
And hardened.
Right?
Hardened by life.
Yes. Yeah. And so in life, I mean, not in life, in French, I call them brodigos, you know. They're just there, feel nothing. And so what I keep saying, when you suppress emotions and don't give men an outlet, imagine how it is, right? If it was you not allowed to fully express what you're going through. Yeah. And so we need to create safe spaces for men where they're able to talk, they're able to get the right support, and they're able to do that in a way that doesn't emasculate them. Because the reality is, as women, at times we don't get how that is important, is a core part of who they are, right? Yeah. When we keep fighting and saying as women we want to be seen, we want to be heard, the same with men, that even when you're helping me and supporting me, do you have to make me feel like a failure in the process? Yeah. Can you do it without making me feel weak? Because the minute that's how it comes up, all men, they'll keep pretending I'm okay. If that's what it takes to get help, let me pretend I'm okay, I'll figure it out. After all, aren't I figuring out all the other things in life I'm supposed to? Because men didn't get a manual, right?
True. Yeah. I don't think any of us did. Let me read a few messages. Mbushi Mwene Kiamutugu is listening. Baba Wanda says he's following the conversation. I would have many years ago if I didn't know what I know now, and also meeting people like you. Ningamwambia, by the way, Vitumbaya. Victor Nate, let me read the message so you understand. What do women know about manhood? Now they know better than men. I thought it could be better presented by men. Anybody who is of this opinion that in the mental health awareness advocacy, when it comes to men, women can't be left behind, or it's zero work, because this world doesn't have one gender. How do you answer somebody like this who says, why are you talking about men's mental health? This conversation should be led by men, should be spoken to by men, period.
His name is Victor?
Victor,
we respect your opinion. And yes, there is a place where it will take another man to speak on certain issues because that's his lived experience, right? However, we live among each other, and I'm a strong believer in the fact that mental health is genderless. It doesn't mean because I'm a woman, I'm only a woman. It's almost like saying, going to a gynecologist and you see a man and you're there like, what do you know? You don't have, how can you treat me and you're a man? No, we are all skilled differently. There's a place for both genders to coexist and be able to speak to each other. And I'll shock you, Victor. At times it's easier for a man to open up to a woman
and not his own gender.
And so we carry on these conversations just to ensure that no man is left behind, because we're not going to sit here pretending and assuming men are talking to each other, yet we are seeing them taking their life by suicide and getting affected. And
Very
so,
true.
Victor, this is a conversation for both genders.
Yeah, and I agree. And to add on to what you're saying, Carrie, it's good to empower the women.
Absolutely.
We are the ones who birth you.
Yes.
And I believe the genesis of you guys going cold and being Tinman comes from the home. You are mother.
Absolutely.
Why are you crying, Kababa? Stop crying, and your sister is crying. Those small little nuances that you think don't mean anything are what will grow into. Now you're seeing this person who has no feelings. When I remember when I was still dating, my goodness, you just meet someone, you're like, you are a Neanderthal. You grew up in the forest. You are Tarzan. You are Tarzan. How did you pass through somebody's house and a woman was in there? You are a square with very sharp edges, and you cannot even melt this person's heart.
You can't.
And that's how they've been raised. And the parents must think they've done a good job because he's tough as nails. He feels that he's impenetrable. You cannot penetrate.
But that's wrong. And what I say, in society, whether you went to a boys-only school or a girls-only school, I'm yet to see an organization that is men-only and women-only. The way society is structured, even in our churches, we interact. We are always going to interact. You have siblings. Even if your siblings are all one gender, you have cousins, you have friends, right? And so, in agreement to what you're saying, Yolanda, we need to understand what different people, the other gender is going through and what I'm going through, so that we are able to better support them, right? Men don't get pregnant, but they need to understand what happens so they're able to support their partners, right? The same thing with mental health, right? Now that it's affecting everyone, all of us need to understand so that the next generation we are raising, we are not perpetuating the same issues that happened, right? And yes, there was a time where certain things were men only. And let me tell you something, Yolanda. Before we became westernized, the way the families were set up long ago, you had an uncle, you had an auntie, there were structures for communication. So that everything you needed to know, there was someone to guide you. People lived in, they had age sets, and there was a system. We don't have that anymore, right?
Very true.
And so when you say men stick to men and talk to men only, where are those men? Where are those men who are going to talk to you? Yeah, exclusively. And I'm not saying they're not there. They are there, but it's not, it doesn't happen as often and as regularly as it should happen. A place where people can just be raw and have raw conversations. And those are some of the things I want to champion. Where are the safe spaces for men today? Where are those? The way each man knows there's a gym here, I can go for golf at that club. Do we know of the places of the psychology, the therapists that men can go see?
If someone can see your poster that you're going to be on Sugar and Spice today, and they say, I'll call you, tell you I'm not okay because you know these people.
Yes.
You can point me in the right direction. Where can I get counseling? Even if it's, I must pay, it's not, I won't break bank. I don't have those kind of resources. People don't know where they can even pay for those services, even if they have that money. So it's true what you're saying. And for us to get out of the issues we are seeing on a societal level right now, we have to have collaborative effort.
We have to, and we need allies across board, right?
Yes.
And so this is not something that will happen tomorrow. And guess what, right? for every generation, mental health looks different. Right now, it's at an all-time high. As I keep saying, from the pandemic, no one walked us through what we just lived through. We didn't process that. Then we had elections. Then now they've been... so it's been a lot. And we're just ticking time bombs, all of us. And so what I keep saying is we need to stop and understand each generation is unique. Now more than ever, we cannot be at the level where we are still stigmatizing people, where we are saying men should suck it up, where as a man, you still have to hide the fact that you're going for therapy. Not in 2025. We need to do better, and we must do better. And it needs to start from the top and trickle down. So as a man, it's a decision you make for you as an individual. Once you are better, you're then able to help your friend, if you're a father, your children, if you're a husband, your spouse. And so it's something that has to start with you, right? Because if you don't, what are you going to do? Hurt people, hurt others. We have people who are hurt because... And I'm not saying men only, because a man and a woman refuse to get the help they need. So we are going out here leaving a trail of blood, of people bleeding, hurting people. We can do better.
Tukisema hizo ni mambo za wamama.
Thank you.
Hizo ni vitu za wanaume, wacha.
No, we need to do better. And just begin where we are. If as a man, you have a group where you normally meet and you go golfing together, incorporate that in your conversation. If you have gym buddies, have that as a conversation. We are gymming. Hey, how are you doing? If you don't know where to start, get the book, right? Go do the exercises, right? That's a good place to start. And I wrote the book in such a way that it's personal. So that as a man, if you don't want to tell others, you get the book, work on it silently, then you be the one to help your boys.
That's true. That's next time you're in the garage or whatever you all do when you're hanging out.
Nyama,
you go have some small tidbits that you can sneak in without looking like you want us to cry and sing kumbaya.
Absolutely, right? Because that's what it is. Because even as women, that's what we do. It's not that we sit all the time having mini therapy sessions. No, it gets tiring. I can't also keep therapizing people that I meet, right? So it's in the conversation. Once you have the tools, you know what to look out for. You know how to be there like, hey, maybe you need to talk to someone. No, I'm okay. You really need to talk to someone, right?
It was not a question.
Yeah.
It was a suggestion.
Exactly. And imagine the power of me being equipped and I'm able to guide you and be there like, hey, imagine it's okay. And the more we share our stories, because I know, and to be honest, before I did mental health and walked into this space, what I knew of mental health facilities or what movies show us, people in straight jackets.
True story.
Right?
True. And Madare. Which we've never seen pictures of the inside, but we hear things.
And the worst thing about Madare is we've now made it a verb. Where we say, uyo ni mtu wa Madare. And they're like, wow.
It's true. By the way, no lies, no lies. No
and
lies.
So we need to stop using mental health issues as adjectives. Right now, it was cold in the morning. We can't keep saying
this weather is bipolar.
Or throwing random things saying, kazi inaniletea depression. No, it's not. You don't even know the symptoms of depression. And so I think one of the things we need to do is, men, we encourage you, one, acknowledge, stop ignoring the symptoms because you've seen the symptoms. Stop self-medicating. And self-medicating can be drugs, it can be alcohol, it can be pornography. I keep saying from the pandemic, we now entered a pandemic, right? Because it's a silent way that you're able to numb and deal with everything.
And the gym, because there's someone I asked who they talked to, and because they had gone through a horrific ordeal. And they told me they go to the gym, feel good hormones. I'm like, hey, Dr. Phil, basi pole. Please tell them the gym is not Dr. Phil.
It's not.
It helped to a certain
level, but you need to also, because what we talk about is mental fitness. So we are all big on physical fitness and eating right now, What about your mental fitness? How are you checking in with yourself? So you're religious, going to the gym, but do you pause to check in mentally? How am I doing? Because some of these issues, as I said earlier, was a moment that you have regurgitated over and over to a place now it's made you angry, violent, aggressive, right? Is it something from your past that is now creeping up on you? And there's a thing, the sad part, Yolanda, your body keeps score. You could have forgotten, but it will start manifesting physically. So for men, it's digestive issues. Some of them, it's erectile dysfunction, right? So now, even as a man, you're feeling I can't perform. That's adding double stress, right? It can be headaches, migraines that are not disappearing. And so people are perpetually on drugs, medication, where you're there like, I'll keep taking this, now this supplement, now no, we are over-medicated and over-supplemented, right? All you need to do is just pause, check in with yourself, find out how am I really doing, do inner work. And I know, Yolanda, at times it's easier to deal with malaria, a homa, the inner work.
We know even you can Google, but now our mental health, you can't Google.
That's the thing.
It can't idea you. It's very tailor-made.
Yes.
It's
and what I'm dealing with, we may be both dealing with childhood trauma, but the degree and the intensity and the occurrence is so different that it takes an individual approach to it. Secondly, spaces where men frequent, whether it's the office, whether it's church, we need to create conversation that invites men to actually begin looking inward and to begin checking in mentally instead of it being surface. Because you said earlier on, men are very targeted, goal-oriented, fixers. That's how they were created, which we love and celebrate. However, not everything is a quick fix. Not everything needs a solution right now. Not everything needs me to show up with my weapons 24/7. There has to be a place where I put my armor down and I'm able to be there like, hey, how is a warrior first? Because all we celebrate is the armor, but we forget that there's a warrior beneath all that. And that's what we need to.
I like you.
Oh, I like you too.
Yeah, sometimes you're talking to the men, but you're talking to me.
And let me tell you, Yolanda.
Because I'm always walking around with my war chest.
Yeah. And also as women, we also need to extend grace to them. We have double standards.
We do.
And I'll say it loudly. And again, as women, we have double standards.
Miss support. There's even someone I was like, I'm going to send them a dera. Juu akona umama. But naenda kuomba, nifanye nini? Atonement. Mungu anisamehe. And I'll be kinder. It's the truth.
And the thing
and
is,
maybe
Yolanda,
they're just going through something.
And I'll extend more grace to you because you're Yolanda, you're female. I get you. But a man walks in and tells me the exact same thing you've told me. To him, I'll be there like, excuse me, you're weak. What is that you're even telling me? How dare you? We may not say it, but our expression, our body language, our attitude. I think also as women, when you're going through a rough patch, Yolanda, I don't want someone always coming and saying, hey, Kare, your eyes have been bloodshot for long. Or even asking me, hey, nowadays you don't smile, you're moody. No. Why do we do the same to men?
We do that all the time. We bash them.
Yes.
It's not even low-key, by the way. Now that you've said it like that.
Loudly.
We just bash them.
All the time.
Kwani ujalala? Mbona umejam?
So what are you doing, Yolanda? On the one hand, you're saying, I want you to be open. I'm a safe space. You can talk to me. We celebrate men who are vulnerable. But then what your actions are showing is that
ridicule, judgment.
Thank you. So what are you doing? You want me to show up, decide. I'm confused. Do you want me to be vulnerable and sensitive and show my emotions? Or do you want me to show up as a man in my armor, clad in iron? And so that's a confusion that we need to stop having. Allow the man to be a man, but also know that he can have a bad day. And if he has a bad day, don't use it against him for the whole month, the whole week, where you're always going back. Now nakumbuka hiyo siku ulikuwa. I'm there like, what? Who does that to you? I mean, just let him be, yeah? And we're not saying now if it's extended bad behavior, we are condoning it. But even love on him. Help him get through that rough patch, because half of the time, sometimes but it's easier to run your mouth and pull him down than for you to speak positive. Guess what? Same energy. You choose. Are you going to bash or are you going to encourage?
Hey, and we have a minute left. I don't even know what you're telling us in a minute. You owe us 20 minutes, but we're going to punish you for to come here for an entire show. I don't feel like I'm thinking we'll have a conversation with Joyline and my new producers, and we can have Wellness Wednesday.
Absolutely.
And you can come by. And since I can't pay you, I'm the one presenter around here, I will sell your books on shop.digger.co.ke.
Awesome.
Everybody goes home happy. Take us home.
No,
Take this home.
but first and foremost, thank you, Yolanda, for this conversation. We've just We've just scratched the surface.
Yes, true.
One of the things, and to Victor's point, we may not be men in this studio, but the one thing we know is that we love and celebrate our men. We honor them. We know it's not easy being a man. And so one of the things I would like to take out from today is don't be another fight he has to fight. Be someone who stands up for him, who is there for him, and who helps him deal and go through his whatever mental condition he may be dealing with.
I love it.